In the case of 2-month-old Gabriel Frank, 2 years ago, we met a woman named Kim. Now, Kim was in a bit of a paternity pickle. She wasn't sure if her husband Damien or her former lover Frank was the father of her son Giovanni. Both men were given paternity tests. This is how it all played out.
I admit I made a mistake when I had an affair with Frank. I always believed Frank is the father. But I was with Damien too.
Find out you're pregnant. Who do you tell first?
I told Frank first. When I told Frank that I was pregnant, he laughed about it.
Really? That's why she's lying.
And did you tell Damien that Frank could be the father?
Yes, he could be the father.
So everybody was up front during your pregnancy about the father. Have you ever met that little boy?
4 different times.
4 times?
You're a liar. You never met
Really?
him.
You didn't meet me at 3 different gas stations and then
you're a
someplace in
liar.
Baltimore.
You're a liar.
I don't
You
have text
think-
messages from you on
No,
my
okay,
phone
whatever.
talking about how you know I'm the father.
Yeah,
you
I
want to
told
be
you
with
you're
me.
the father.
You
I
want to
was with
leave
you.
here.
Damien, you know this guy?
He's more of a boy.
Boy, I'm sorry, I don't sit down and play PS4 and make a mess of the whole house.
She kept it a secret about her and Frank.
Yeah, the whole time, until I finally found out by him, actually.
You think you look like Giovanni?
Honestly do. His cheek structures, nose, his mouth.
In the case of 6-week-old Giovanni, Damien, you are not. Frank, you are the father.
Now, how bad you feel for cutting me out when I was the one that was there originally?
So her former lover, Frank, was the father. Now, 5 months after that show, not only did Kim and Damien get a divorce, guess what? Kim and Frank got back together. In fact, they now have a 2-month-old son named Gabriel. But for a handful of reasons we're about to hear, Frank denies again that he's Gabriel's father. So joining us now from Upper Marlboro, Maryland is Kim. We're going to talk to Frank a little later, but first, Kim, I was shocked to find out that you and Frank got together after the show.
Yes, sir. We got together, and then next you know it, I'm pregnant again with a second child of his that he denies.
You tell him you're pregnant. He wasn't all for it right then?
No, I was at work on lunch break, took a pregnancy test. I called him, told him I was pregnant, and he said, okay. That's all he had to say, was okay.
In fact, you can remember the exact day that you got
Yes,
pregnant.
I conceived Gabriel October 12th. I was at his mom's house, and then next you know, one thing led to another. We had sex, and then I was conceiving that day, and 6 weeks later, bam, here comes Gabriel. I was pregnant.
What did Frank say to you the day before you gave birth to Gabriel that kind of changed everything? What happened?
It was 8 o'clock at night. He sends me a text message stating that the dates don't add up right now. And I told him, I said, what do you mean? The doctor's taking him via C-section early because I had complications with Giovanni. I said, the dates add up right. You are the father. There's no one else that could be the father. I've been home taking care of your children and doing everything I'm supposed to do, working and all. I ain't out messing with nobody.
Here's the thing. You give birth the next day, Frank comes to the hospital, and then he gets kicked out of the hospital.
Yes, I kicked him out. The reason why, Maury, is because he didn't agree. He didn't like the name that we picked out, or we decided. So I changed it. And then after that, he got in his pissy attitude and all. So I told him, okay, well, if you don't leave, I'll have you removed. Then he started calling me names. That's not my name, out my name, and disrespecting me. And I told him, you don't leave, I'm having you removed. So he got his stuff and he left.
One of the reasons why he left was you didn't put his last name.
No, I did not. I
You
put
didn't give
my
Gabriel.
last name.
You didn't give Gabriel his name. Why wouldn't you give Gabriel his name?
Because of what he said the day before I went to go give birth to my son, he didn't think he was his because the dates didn't add up right. So I thought that he didn't deserve to have his last name if he was thinking that it wasn't his son.
Well, not only did you kick him out of the hospital, he didn't sign the birth certificate.
He ripped the papers up and walked out. I had to ask the people to come back to bring me new papers because he ripped them up.
Did he ever tell you why he doesn't think he's Gabriel's father?
He accuses me of going out there cheating all the
Right.
time, running around with guys. I'm out here working, taking care of Giovanni.
Right. So you're not messing around at all with
I'm
other
not messing
guys.
with nobody.
Okay. Does Gabriel?
one.
Does Gabriel look like Frank?
Gabriel looks more like Frank than my first son. He has his eyes, his ears, his whole entire features. They look alike.
What's your relationship like these days with Frank?
We're at each other's throats because of this. And when I prove today he is the father, maybe things are at ease and we can move on with our life.
So there's no intimacy between the two of you right now?
Right now, no, it's not.
In fact, he's living at his mom's house and you're living...
I live with my mom, so my mom can help me out with the children.
Are you still in love with him?
I love him, but I don't know if I want to be with him because we don't get along.
What's Kim lied to you about that makes you think that you're not the father?
Well, Maury, she was about 6.5, 7 months pregnant, maybe 8, and she sent me a text message telling me that Gabe's not mine, and I told her I'm not doing this crap over text message.
No.
So she called me. She told me that she had been sleeping with somebody else and that she was meeting him on her lunch breaks from her work. She would go to his house or meet him. And then she tells me, well, I just said that to hurt your feelings because I know it would hurt you. Maury, if I could, I'd send you screenshots of the text messages where she said it. Not one time.
Prove
not
it.
2 times. 3 times. But 4 times. Twice before she gave birth and twice after she gave birth where she said that she was sleeping with somebody else and that Gabe wasn't mine. And she goes, she's sorry. She misses me. She wants to be with me. And that Gabe is mine.
So, Frank, what was your reaction to Kim telling you that she was pregnant with Gabriel?
It was the same as last time, Maury. Like I told her, I don't laugh because I think it's a bad thing. I always have laughed instead of crying whenever I'm happy. And when she told me, I went, really? You're pregnant again? Cool. All right.
Here's the thing, all right? Everybody should know this. You want to be Gabriel's father. You're very close to that little boy, aren't you?
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at pictures of you two now. I mean, you seem like a very, very happy, loving father right there. And yet you deny him.
It's not that I deny him, Maury. It's the fact that I can't say 100% he is mine with the things that Kim has said to me and the things Kim has done.
I've been telling you, you are the father 100%. Before the day he was born, I told you he was the father. The boy looks like you. When he came out, he looked like you. You held him and you said, my boy. So you know he is yours.
What about the whole time you told me you left work and met this guy at his house on your lunch break?
I didn't meet nobody. I was at work, my lunch break. I was with a co-worker. We went to lunch, and then I went back to work.
What about all the calls and the text messages you tell me he's not mine? You've gotten smart to where you stopped doing a lot of it in text
I never
messages.
denied Gabriel, yours. That boy looks just like you, 100%, just like you.
We're going to settle all that. But before we get to the result, Frank, first of all, does that little boy look like you?
Yes.
I don't think no child looks like anybody really until they're 3 months old or better. He does have my head structure. He's got my forehead structure.
He has everything about you.
I want to go back.
No.
I want to go back to the day that Gabriel was born, right? You go to the hospital, Frank, and you get kicked out of the hospital.
Kim had me removed. She told me point blank, if I did not leave, she would have security throw me out.
Yes, I did.
And why was that?
Because you called me out my name.
She called me names. I called her names. And I told her flat out, I was like, if he's not going to have my last name, I'm not filling out no. I'm not putting my name on crap.
Why are you crying?
Because he's a liar and he needs to get this straight.
If I prove that Gabriel is his, are you going to put his last name on the birth certificate?
I told him. I have been telling him if he comes back, he's a father, and I know he is, and then I'll do it.
And Frank, will you sign that birth certificate if you're the father?
I've been telling her, get the corrected paperwork. In the state of Maryland, she has 1 whole year.
I got the paperwork at home.
We're going to settle this right now, all right? You want to be the father. She's ready to give you the baby your last name if you're the father. We're going to find out. In the case of 2-month-old Gabriel, Frank, you are the father.
Told you. I told you.
Well, guess what? Finally, we have some agreement here. He wants to be the father. He is the father. You wanted him to be the father. He is the father. Now, Kim, let him go sign the birth certificate with his last name. Thank you all very much. I appreciate you coming on the show for the second time. You are not the father.